I'll go ahead and say, is the daylight saving time fucking up anyone else as much as it's fucking up me?
Dude, look at I'm in the dark right now.
I know, it's dark outside. Well, it's not that dark, but still.
Dude, I just got off of work and it's already dark. I don't even get to see the sun. I'm like a vampire.
I know. It's fucking me. It's fucking up my entire schedule. I mean,
dude,
I'm ready for bed like at 8 o'clock.
I like winter weather a little more than summer. I know most people don't agree with me on that.
Summer weather sucks.
But this shit sucks, dude. I hate that it gets dark this early, dude. It sucks. Sucks.
Anyway, let's go ahead and recap some of the top storylines from week, 9? Your Eagles had the week off, so yep. I'm sure you had a very stress-free weekend.
Yeah.
With the exception of our Mountaineers.
Dude, don't let me go on a rant on that, dude. Seriously.
I mean, we could. We don't give college enough time, but mostly just because it's a 4 or 5 team race.
Yeah, dude. What the fuck? How the fuck do you not call that PI, Shane? I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm like, dude, flag. I was like cheering, and then nothing. I'm like, dude, that was one of the most blatant non-call pass interferences I've ever seen, dude.
If it were later in the game with less than a minute to go, I wouldn't have had a huge problem with it, probably.
Because I get it. They don't want to change the game.
Right.
It's like,
but there were still about 3-4 minutes left on the clock, and we didn't have any timeouts, so Texas just drained the clock. But
it was 4th down. That's a huge play, dude.
Anyway, I know. You texted me at one point and said, how the fuck do you not call that, or whatever, and I said, because the game was in Austin, and Texas is still alive for the Big 12 championship. We said it on the podcast. I said it on the podcast, I should say. The fix was in. They were going to get, if we kept that game close, they were going to give us the shaft any way they could, and they did.
Dude, we have to get out of the Big 12.
I don't disagree.
I'm fucking done with that conference. They have the worst referees in the history of humanity. Like, my fucking high school football referees were better than that, I'm telling you. I've been saying this since I was 18. Well, we went in the Big 12 when I was probably 19. Like, come on, dude. I fucking hate that conference, man.
I do too. I
hate the teams. I hate all those motherfuckers. I just hate them. They suck. Sorry.
No, I've grown. You know, Kansas and Texas were two teams
dude,
that
we're not going to compete because they suck Texas teams' dicks. Not even necessarily just Texas. Just all those, like, we just get no respect from this conference because we have no proximity to any of them. Yeah. It's just, we shouldn't be there. I don't get it. We should not be there.
Well,
sorry.
ACC wouldn't let us in. SEC preferred Missouri.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't. Dude, I'm glad we're not in the SEC. We would literally
It would be about the exact same. Maybe a little
Honestly,
worse.
Probably. Because we could probably beat some of the, your Mississippi State some years and shit like that. Dude, ACC was built for West Virginia. I feel like a lot of West Virginia-ish recruits end up going to ACC schools, so I feel like the talent's very similar. We could actually pull from... Dude, we don't get Texas talent, so it's like, how the fuck are we going to compete in the Big 12? Like, we get players from Maryland and Pennsylvania and Florida. Like, we need to be in the ACC where we can compete with the similar talent. I hate it, dude. I want to talk about something else. Sorry.
Let's just move on before we waste too much time here. So, big story of the week is probably the Bucks getting blown out by the Saints on Sunday Night Football. I mean, that game got out of hand quickly. I was watching that game. I'm like, okay, Tampa Bay will put it together at some point. And then next thing you know, it's 14-0. I'm like, all right, fast start for New Orleans, whatever. Then Tom Brady starts throwing a few picks. Next thing you know, I look up, it's 28-0. I thought, well, dude, shit, this game's over.
Not even close. But you want to know the craziest thing about that game to me wasn't the score, it wasn't Tom Brady, it was Drew Brees. Drew Brees heard people saying he can't throw it downfield.
He can't! Every single throw I saw in that game, he still didn't throw it downfield.
I disagree. No. Throwing Russell Wilson rainbows, dude, he was not hitting slants, outs, and ins. He wasn't. I've seen him hit a couple, seen him hit a couple seams. He threw it down the field a little bit. He really did.
Granted, I didn't watch every play. I was kind of on my phone, but...
Well, I mean, once it was kind of a blowout.
Yeah,
but it's just
so maybe at one point, maybe when Tampa was playing some soft coverage, but
maybe this is my like bias coming through, but like I dumb to think, even though the Saints have beaten them twice, that Tampa Bay is going to beat them in the playoffs if they play?
I mean, it's hard. It's very difficult to beat a team three times.
I can't construct even a half decent argument for why I think that, but like I still do. I don't.
Well, the game's likely going to be in New Orleans if they do play.
Yeah.
I lean Saints, I guess, but very difficult to beat a team 3 times, and both times New Orleans won by double digits, so I do think that's saying something. So I'd probably still go Saints, but yeah, the Bucks. The Bucks are in trouble, I think. These are 2 weeks in a row. They have not looked good. They struggled against the Giants, and I thought, well, desperate team, looking to, get a signature win on Monday Night Football. I'm willing to let that go. Any given Sunday kind of approach, even though I know it was Monday, but then you go out and get blown up by the Saints, a team that's not as good as you. I think that's troublesome.
I think they have a little bit of Dallas Cowboys syndrome going on right now, where it's like everybody just keeps talking about all their past. Dude, they have one fucking football. Like, you having 6 good receivers, dude, only one of them can catch it at once, dude. It's like, in fact, in my opinion, it's almost like you have too many people to give the ball to.
I mean, they have 3. No, O.J. Howard's done for the year, so.
I mean,
2
dude,
legitimate tight ends, 4 pretty good receivers, I should say. That white kind of dude is pretty good, but.
Listen, they're heavily penalized and they have a bad offensive line.
Yes.
And I think the fact that they have a bunch of pass catchers tries to. And listen, I know Bruce Arians is a good coach, but never had penalties. I heard this the other day when he was with the Steelers. They were one of the most penalized teams in the league until he left. Tom Brady is I'm telling you, he's pissed at the lack of structure that they have right now compared to the Patriots. I guarantee it. The Bucs are
lack of structure. He's got a great coach and some good offensive coaches. What's hurting them right now, I think, is the lack of O-line.
Do you think the in-house policies and processes are even 10% of what they were in New England? No.
Probably not, because I do think Belichick is a very textbook, by the book, this is routine kind of guy, and Bruce Arians just kind of like, look, we're gonna do whatever. We're gonna do whatever. Do what you want to do. And I will say that I do think that structure Brady is missing a little bit. He's like, hey, I'm used to some sort of a routine here, and Arians is kind of doing his own thing, which there's nothing really wrong with that, but it's just 2 different styles right now. Sometimes those go together. Like I thought way back in the day, Mike Holmgren was like that, and Brett Favre wasn't. Brett Favre was, I'm going to grip it and throw it wherever I want. Who cares what happens? And Holmgren's like, will you protect the fucking ball? So sometimes it can work, and it worked for those guys. It's worked for a few other guys since then. But I'm not sure it's working right now with Arians and Brady.
Yeah. And dude, people are going to have to understand, like, dude, Tom Brady is not fucking Goku, dude. Like, he's old. Like, he's not going to fucking...
That one throw he made, he got out of the pocket, threw it across the field. I was like, oh, no. Like, that looked like a rookie making that throw. Throws it almost into double coverage, I think. His receiver didn't have a chance. It was intercepted, and I thought, oh, my, that's terrible.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't know. So, I don't think that game was actually an indication on how good the Saints are or bad the Bucs are, but it's hard to even make an excuse for either side there. I mean, the Saints kicked their fucking ass.
The Saints just might have their number. That happens. There are, in every sport, there are teams that you can't explain it. They just always match up well with you.
Football's all about matchups.
Exactly, and New Orleans just might have their number. Who knows? We'll know more about the Saints. I was very surprised by that result, though, because the Saints had not been playing well. But the defense showed up. Their pass rush was very good. I think they sacked Brady 1 point at 3 straight times in the second half. I think it was by the same dude, Hendrickson. Just all in the backfield. So anyway, what else? So other big story: Bills bounce back. Hot damn!
Yes.
Our boy Josh Allen's back.
Bro, I think the Bills are like my second favorite team in the NFL.
I love the Bills. I said it on my blog. I was like, the Bills are gonna get it figured out. They're not playing well, but I thought Russell Wilson was gonna go over there and just sling it, because Buffalo's defense has not been that good this year. And he goes out there, throws 1 or 2 interceptions, maybe 3.
He had an uncharacteristic game for sure.
He threw 2 interceptions in that game. So very uncharacteristic game. Buffalo likely gets a lot of points, or at least 10 points off those turnovers probably. So not a great game for him, but Seattle's defense. This is what I'm talking about with Seattle. If Russell Wilson isn't on, this team is not going to win a game.
And it's crazy. It's not even on. I mean, he literally has to go 350, 3, 4, 5 TDs to win.
Yes.
I don't care who you are. You're not doing that every week.
Yeah, he literally has to be on point. And if he's off just a smidge, Seattle's defense cannot help him out at all. They have no pass rush. They traded for Carlos Dunlap, so maybe that'll come around at some point in the year. But the secondary, you traded for Jamal Adams. I know he's been banged up, but all I heard in the offseason was after they got Adams, how this was Legion of Boom 2.0, and I said it at the time. I was like, whoa, let's hold off on saying that. This was a very leaky defense last year, and I'm being proven right. It's still not it's not a good defense at all. It's gotten worse with Jamal Adams.
Yep, agreed. I agree.
I'm just happy Buffalo's back. I like the Bills being good.
And here's the thing about the Bills. I really, really hope they have a really good regulars record, because I have a hard time believing anybody outside of the Chiefs is beating them in Buffalo. And the Chiefs will probably have the number 1 seed.
You think a team's going to have a hard time going into Buffalo and winning?
Yes.
Well, right now, Buffalo's just the 3 seed, I believe.
Well, no, I know, but I'm saying
Kansas City.
They'll theoretically probably get a couple of home playoff games before they go to the NFC Championship or whatever.
Depends. I mean, if they already played, Kansas City has that, so Kansas City's going to have to lose at least 3 more games for Buffalo to have an advantage. But, who's the best team in the NFC right now?
In the wild card weekend, they would have a home game.
Right. No, I know. They would get 1. I thought you were talking about they would get 2.
Well, potentially. I mean, depends on who would win.
They do still have to play Pittsburgh in Buffalo, I believe, so that would help them a lot if they won that game. Yeah. Who's the best team in the NFC right now?
Listen, Josh Allen being the runner that he is going to be very dangerous come playoff time, let me tell you. They're going to be a tough out, bro.
I do too. I just don't trust their defense right now. I've asked twice.
Agreed, but they have a talented defense that I think can come around, and McDermott's obviously a defensive coach. I think they'll be okay there.
True. So I've asked twice. Who's the best team in the NFC right now?
Good fucking question, dude.
Don't say Green Bay. Don't say Green Bay.
Saints, I guess.
I texted you. They were either the 6 or 7 seed in the playoffs last week, or they weren't even a playoff team. And this is how crazy that game against Tampa Bay was. They shot up from either the 6 or 7 seed to not end the playoff, as of last week. So now they're the number 1 seed because of a bunch of tiebreakers.
Dude, I don't know. It's either them or the Packers, but all those teams have a flaw.
I think it's looking more and more likely that Tampa Bay's win over Green Bay was just them being on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just on their top game. And
exactly.
Green Bay not playing well at all. And I know, Green Bay lost to Minnesota too, but Minnesota's playing well right now. I said it last week that they've won, I think, now after last week, I think it's 3 out of their last 5, almost 4 of their last 5, if you factor in that Seattle game where they lost by a point. So that's looking like a better loss. Now, Minnesota could end up being a playoff team if they stay hot, but it's going to be an uphill battle. Another team I want to talk about is the Miami Dolphins. I shouldn't say I saw this coming. I did predict the Dolphins to win. And
no, you did.
I did. But I would admit more, I did not see this type of performance from the Dolphins this year. They're 5-3. Right now they're in the playoffs in the AFC. Not 2 games. They're about a game and a half back of Buffalo right now. This team is not going to be an easy out. They're playing very good football right now. Brian Flores, I think, is a legit head coach. Their front office knows what they're doing.
Coach of the year right now.
Tua looked good. This organization is set up for the future, I think. And I'm very looking forward to it because they have 2 first-round picks and 2 second-round picks, I'm pretty sure. And so if you got your franchise quarterback, you got 4 picks in the first 64 picks or whatever. I'm sure they probably have some salary cap room as well to maybe go get somebody in the offseason. But they've been very smart. They've just upgraded with just a bunch of dudes in the back end of their defense and that pass rusher. And then they drafted at the most valuable positions, which what we have hammered for years. Just get a dude at quarterback, left tackle, corner. You can be a good team. And that's what they've done. Now they can go out and get, beef up the O-line a little bit more, maybe get a couple pass catchers. This is a very good team that I think has a very bright future.
They're in great position because they have low expectations, but they have a lot of capital in a lot of different ways.
This is similar, I should say, to what the Browns did, except the Browns did not capitalize on all their draft capital.
Well, there's two additional things to add to that. One, Brian Flores is better than any coach they've had in however many years. One. Two, Miami and Cleveland, I could get fucking anybody to move to Miami and come play for my team. You know how many people want to go to Cleveland? Nobody. Unless you get traded there, you're probably not going to sign there if you're high priority for you.
Miami is such a great destination. Like,
you
forget it's already such a paradise. Then you factor in no state tax. Like, I've said since the election last week, I need to just move to Florida.
Dude, imagine Justin Herbert on the Dolphins right now.
I know. Well, I mean, but Tua's playing well.
No, he's playing okay, man, but I know, dude.
I know it's only a second game, but
I've never been super sold on Tua. I think that he's a good player, obviously, but dude, the lefty thing, being small, he's not super athletic. I don't see it, man. I don't think he's ever going to be like.
So why do you factor in the lefty thing? Him being a lefty. Why do you factor that in?
People don't understand your entire offense flips when you do that. Your left tackle's pointless. It's now a right tackle.
No, I disagree.
Yes.
I see where you're going with that. I disagree, though, because in today's game, you got to have two good tackles anyway.
That's fine, but you obviously so. All right, so what happens when Tua breaks his leg and the other player has to come in? It's going to make a difference. I'm not saying it's detrimental. They won't be able to make up the slack of somebody going left to right hand, but it is different, dude. The entire offense is split. All this stuff, a lot of quick game shit goes to the right for a right-handed quarterback to get the ball out quick. It's different on that now. So they can it's just a little bit different. Listen, you would prefer any player in the entire NFL tell us you prefer your quarterback to be a right-handed quarterback. That's why 99% of them are. I'm not saying it's like, holy shit, he's a lefty, so he's not going to do well.
Yeah.
I don't mean it like that, but...
Wasn't Steve Young left-handed?
Yes. He's the only other... And Warren Moon was, too. I think it's the
Was Warren Moon? Let me look. I'll look up a picture of him in his playing days.
Yeah. And Tim Tebow was. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure
Tim Tebow. Warren Moon was... Looks like right-handed here.
All right. Even that confirms my point even more. It's difficult.
No, I agree. There is some merit to that, but I don't think it's as big of a deal as people make it out to be.
I don't think that it'll be the reason he doesn't succeed, but I think that it can be. He's just not big, man. And I came back to this. We were talking about it last week, where we were like, oh well, these other quarterbacks have created a place that you don't have to be tall to be quarterback. Yes, you fucking do, dude. Russell Wilson and Kyler Murray are the biggest outliers ever. They both they're world-class athletes that can throw, okay? So, Baker Mayfield is not that. Tua is not that. Who's another, you know what I mean? Drew Brees, we're seeing his limitations now. Drew Brees is probably one of the best processors of information in NFL history, but, we see him now. He's fucking limited now that he can't talk. I don't know, man. I just think Tua's going to end up being limited, and I think they're going to wish they had just Justin Herbert, a Carson Wentz. It's a big guy that can swing the fucking rock. So I don't know, man. I think that they would. I think they should. Tua is playing well. I'll give him a little bit more. Who knows, dude? He might be great. I just don't see it, dude. I don't think he's going to be a Pro Bowl level player.
Fine, I'll die on the Tua Tagovailoa hill all day. I love Tua ever since that game against Georgia in the national championship.
So I hope that he does. Dude, I know he's got balls of steel. I fuck with him. It's just he already has a little bit of an injury history. Had a pretty bad injury. He's just small, and he can't get. Dude, Kyler Murray's like 5'7", but he fucking runs a 4.3, dude. Like he's out. You don't ever hit him. I haven't seen Kyler Murray get hit once yet.
Yeah, but Tua's not that short. He's about 6 foot, maybe 6'1". Let me look it up. I'm pretty sure he's bigger than you think.
Dude. Height is a little overrated. Obviously, you want to be.
So Wikipedia, for what it's worth, has him at 6 feet. I'll look up the official roster, which I'm sure that's where they get it from.
Yeah.
NFL.com has him at 6 feet.
Okay, just my gut feeling is that they aren't going to be a Super Bowl team at any point in the next 10 years or two. That's just how I feel. You look at Josh Allen next to that guy, man, and it's just.
Hey, Josh Allen is tall.
Ferrari and a Civic. It is. It's straight up.
What do they say? DraftJoshAllen.com.
So now let me ask you this. When they have to go up to Buffalo in December and the fucking wind is blowing 30 miles an hour, you want Tua? Hell no, I don't want a fucking lefty.
Yeah, but true.
Or New England.
But you play most of your games in South Florida.
No, you're right, but your division isn't always in South Florida.
That's true. That's fair.
I mean, listen. I would have took Tua where they took him, straight up. I wouldn't have picked Justin Herbert over him. I didn't think Justin Herbert was going to be a fraction as good as he is right now at any point in his career.
I was so out on Justin Herbert. I was like, this is a for sure bust.
But dude, somebody made a good point. They're like, dude, know how to play football. He's a
And I lost him. Son of a bitch.
I do agree.
There we go. I've lost you, dude. You keep going in and out. Son of a bitch.
Can you even say? How can't you hear me?
All right, now you're kind of back, and you maybe went away again.
Just so fucked up. Can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
How am I losing service? How am I losing service in the city? I'm getting rid of Sprint.
Because Baltimore is garbage.
That's true.
Hey, I like that harbor area, but get outside of that, Baltimore's very sketchy.
No, I like, yeah, you're right.
Anyone else we can talk about?
Eagles are getting healthy. They're going to shellac the Giants. Why didn't you want to talk about your Packers?
Because they beat a depleted 49ers team. Am I supposed to be happy about that? It was a no-win situation. Either we dominate and then everyone says...
You were nervous about the game, though. Were you not?
I was.
You were nervous about the game.
That's true, I was. But it was a no-win situation. Either we go in and blow them out and everyone says, well, they were depleted, you did what you were supposed to do, they suck anyway. Okay. Or we go in and barely win and everyone says Green Bay's not any good. Or we lose and they say Green Bay sucks. We managed to do the first thing.
Dude, no one was ever... It's never a lose-lose, dude, because...
It was a lose-lose-lose.
Dallas could have beat the Steelers last week with the right call. Like, it's the NFL, dude. Don't look at it like that. Number two, you guys played really well. Aaron Rodgers absolutely killed it. And the reason I wanted to talk about the Packers is because I have a hot take.
Oh, boy.
It might not be that hot of a take, to be honest with you. With Odell Beckham injured, with Antonio Brown basically completely
I don't want either.
With DeAndre, no, I'm not talking about that. With DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, he's still been killing it. Julio Jones is still good, but on a bad team. Is Devontae Adams the best receiver in the NFL? Because I think he might be. Number one. He might be,
Number
bro.
one?
Who's above him right now? You can make an argument for Hopkins, okay.
Yeah, I haven't seen his numbers this year.
Dude, he's had like
I'll say this. He's one of those guys that can just take over a game like I think Hopkins can. I think OBJ can. Julio Jones can to some extent. The problem is they don't give him the ball in the red zone or he doesn't score in the red zone, either or.
Here's my thing. Inarguably the best red zone wide receiver in the NFL. It's not close.
Devontae Adams?
Yes.
I would
take
agree.
other arguments on that. I wouldn't even take other arguments.
He's so good at the line of scrimmage just getting a release. It's ridiculous.
He has been putting in work in between the 20s, which I wouldn't say he was lacking, but that was where he wasn't the best receiver in the league. Like, dude, if he finishes out the year on that, I'd have to put him at number one. And I wanted to run that by you because I know that's probably pretty exciting.
I'm not that excited about it. Because I know we're probably not going to keep him.
Should be. Why?
He's approaching 30. We usually don't give dudes a third contract. Usually.
You're going to pay Devontae Adams.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be foolish not to. Same with Dave. So technically, David Bakhtiari would be entering his third contract, and he is approaching 30. But I have a hard time being like, yeah, let's let an All-Pro left tackle, probably the best left tackle in the league, go.
And same with it, dude. If you have an All-Pro player, you pay him. And I understand because we talked about how these GMs have to start being smarter, dude. You can't just be throwing money at people because of stats and shit. But like, dude, if you get a top 5 player in your position, dude, you just fucking pay him. Like, you're never gonna regret having somebody that good on your team. Devontae Adams, he's not a fucking. Listen, he'll be just as good in the red zone when he's 35 as he is right now, because that skill set doesn't go away. You know what I mean? Anquan Bolden was just as good his last year in the league in the red zone as he was in fucking 2004. So
yeah, and I'm not saying if we paid him, I wouldn't be upset or anything. But also, I'd be like, what did we get? If we paid him like for 5 years, I'd be kind of mad about that. But if it was a 3-year deal, I wouldn't care at all.
And I don't know this for a fact, 'cause I don't know how well him and Aaron Rodgers get along, but I'm sure he wants to stay with Aaron Rodgers for the rest of his career, or for the rest of Aaron's career.
Why, if you're a receiver, why wouldn't you want to stay with Aaron Rodgers?
That's my point. That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Greg Jennings made that mistake. Greg Jennings was never heard from again.
Yeah, no, I know. He went to the Vikings after that. And he
yep.
Just yeah.
So let's preview.
Wasn't very good after he left either.
Let's preview the Thursday night game. Indianapolis at Tennessee. Gonna be, I think, a pretty good game. What do you think?
Very good game. My question for you is, would this team be a top 5 team in the NFL with Andrew Luck?
Yes. Philip Rivers is holding them back.
Yes, they will. Dude, what do you not think Jim Irsay is just like throwing up in his sweet box every fucking Sunday?
He ought to be. He's the one that kept, what was his name, Ryan Grigson around way too long.
Dude, you don't think it's absolutely insane that everybody was just like, this team, the only reason they're good is Andrew Luck. They have no O-line and a terrible defense, and now they have probably the best O-line defense combo in the NFL.
Yes.
And Andrew Luck is gone. It's just like, it actually hurt, because like, I was always an Andrew Luck stan, and people started hating on him because he throws a lot of picks and shit. I'm just like, bro, do you not see that he literally carries a bad team to the playoffs every year? Like, dude, he would be an MVP on this team. It just makes me sad. They'd be fucking 14-2. And they'd be great. It just makes me sad. It really does.
Yeah, I think Indy would be definitely better than 5-3 because we saw what this team was with Andrew Luck in his first year with Frank Reich. They started off slow and then got hot. I think they started off 1-5, finished 9-1, got hot kind of in the playoffs, won the first round game, then got destroyed by Kansas City in round 2. Or in the divisional round, which I thought they were going to win. But I think definitely Philip Rivers is not good. He throws a lot of interceptions. And did you watch him get jumped over last week? That was embarrassing.
Dude, he just doesn't have it anymore, man. That was just I thought it was a good signing when it happened. People were telling me I was dumb. But I was just like, he's going to go throw 20.
I was willing to give him give it the benefit of the doubt because, maybe his time had just come to an end with the Chargers. Better O-line, better rushing game, better coach. And it's just more of the same. He's a little bit better, but Indianapolis is winning because Frank Reich's great and their defense is really good. Matt Eberflus, I still think, is going to be one of the top candidates on the coaching carousel.
Agreed. I agree.
So who are you going to go with?
I'll go Tennessee, dude, because fucking Philip Rivers, man.
Yeah. I'm going to go Tennessee as well. Tennessee plays very well at home. They're something like 4-1 at home and averaging over 30 points per game offensively. I don't trust Philip Rivers in just 3 days to prepare. I think that's just a very tall order for the Colts. I'll say a close game, but I'm going to take the Titans kind of in a shootout.
Me too. I think it'll be like 27-24.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what I put on my blog, which I'm typing it up now. But did you see my mock draft today?
I did not. Can you send it to me? Or did you tag me in it?
I tagged you in it, yeah.
All right, I'll go check.
I don't want to spoil it for you. I think you'll like my Eagles pick.
Oh, no, I did. No, I did. You had the Eagles taking that linebacker, right?
Yep, from Alabama, Moses.
I would love that. we need one of those. So...
You can only get by with Nathan Jerry and Duke Riley for so long.
Dude, they're so fucking bad. They're so bad. Dude, there's pictures of Nate Gary, and it's the funniest shit
Is it Gary or Jerry?
Gary.
Is it Gary? Okay.
Yeah. So, dude, they'll show like an aerial shot, and Nate Gary will literally be facing the polar opposite way of where the ball is. It's like the funniest pictures in the world. He'll be facing like the right sideline, and the wide receiver on the left will have the ball like running off the sideline. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, he's just not that good. He's not that good. All right, my man. I gotta get to work.
Yep, me too, bro.
I'll see you later.
Later, man.
Later.